Oh, it is red. We're live once again. Share this.
All right.
Everybody,
All right.
everybody in the audience, share it. And Mike is here. His name is Knock Knock. Knock Knock, Mike. Who?
That was, I found this thing on, I probably found it on Facebook. So it's on YouTube. It's all about, what's it called? Let me see. It's called The Golden Years of Rock and Roll.
Okay.
The picture that caught my attention was it had the banana splits. Flegel, Beagle, and
Yes,
Hoopers.
I love that.
It was a picture of them. So I clicked on it one day, and it's just like 30 minutes full of a minute here, a minute and a half here, 30 seconds here of just hits all back in the long time ago. And fun little thing. Yeah. So it's today I'm Knock Knock. There.
Well, that's a good thing.
It's Knock Knock. Okay, I'll do the part. Who's there?
My
Anita.
Anita
who? I need a lover that won't drive me crazy. I need a lover that won't.
That's Simpsons joke, yes, I know that one. But I want to talk a minute about my friend Wes Maples, or Wes Thomas. He was 4 years younger than me, but he died from COVID yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
The day before. But it led me to think about what a great life he had and what a great guy he was. And I just wanted to make sure that we shout out because he's another Crane guy and was on those amazing baseball teams that were after my age, because my age, we were the first guys that had Conrad back as a baseball coach because he went several years without coaching. And so then I was the same age as Kyle, Bob's son. And so we came in and we actually had an amazing team our sophomore year. We were third in state. And then,
wow.
And so then we had a couple years that were good, but not great. And then when Wes's group was juniors and seniors, they were awesome. They were so good. And so instead of like mourning Wes's loss, I just want to talk about that amazing era of Pirate baseball and what a great group of guys there were at that time.
Well, when I lived in Nashville, I kept up on Crane sports because people say, well, what'd you do? Jump on the bandwagon?
Right.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a bandwagon because
exactly. If you're
sports are fun when you're winning and really good. They're fun. They're a lot more fun than when you're losing all the time.
No doubt.
You can still be, but those years that can't tell you what years it was, but all those years that the basketball and the baseball both were just
like 93 and 94 were the years, or 92 and 93 were the years that were so good in baseball. So good. We won second place in state both years. And I was there. And this was so cool. That group of kids got to play in Busch Stadium. I got to be the PA announcer. And
wow.
And Wes got to play on the actual field of Old Busch Stadium. That was so fun. That was the old 90s Busch Stadium.
Yeah, that was a great place.
And you know, I've got a funny story about that because when you got up there and you were starting to do the PA announcing, you had to learn that there was a full 1 second gap in the thing before it came back to you, the sound did. That was such a strange experience. And so I'm up there, I'm trying to kind of do everything. And I mean, I nearly made blunders, but I ended up getting out of there and being able to say I did everything right. It was a great 3-inning deal. The Crane won the game, and it was such a fun experience to be the PA announcer at Busch Stadium. How cool is that?
That's very cool. That's very cool. The only thing I did that maybe it'd rank up, maybe 1/10 of what you did. I took the tour of the new Busch Stadium.
Oh yeah,
and I actually got a friend of mine that was with me. She took a picture because we had the old guy giving you the tour. No, No, we're gonna go down here, and just the old guy. Well, and then when we're out in the dugout and all that stuff, he's like, and we're all, a bunch of people all standing around out there. I just happened to be over by the first base line right through there where it's dirt, and then there's grass. And he goes, "Now, whatever you do," and he was looking down at the other people at the other end of all. There's probably 50, 60, 70 of us out there. He goes, "Whatever you do not step on the grass here at Busch Stadium."
Right.
So what did I do? My friend, she looked at me and nodded. I just took my little tennis shoe and scooted it over about 6 inches and had it just sitting on the grass there until he decided to turn back around. But I was like, man, that sounds like something I'd have been doing back in high school, But man, the fact you got to announce there, that
was really cool.
But
no, go ahead.
See, in sound tech, a lot of people don't understand concerts. There's a lot of stuff that uses a delay. I mean, through the venue, way in the back, so that everything will sync up and be.
What I remember about that thing, because again, I wanted to shout out Wes because he was such a great guy and such a great third baseman.
Yeah, I know his name. I don't. So he died from COVID, and I tell people.
So did his dad. His dad died from it too.
Oh, his dad did? Both of them?
Yes, they did. Separately, different times, but I'm just saying it's a definitely bad disease.
Back last summer when it started out before everybody was wearing masks and Branson went nuts. And of course it was on the news about Lake of the Ozarks, and Branson, it showed Lake of the Ozarks with all the people in the lake and then the pools just partying. And it was on the national news, like central part of Missouri in the lake area, people are not paying attention. But here, all you had to do is go to Walmart and you saw everybody that just didn't have masks, and I had somebody tell me one day, I kind of made it up, but they
you kind of made it up.
Well, I had two episodes. One was somebody said, "Man, we got the stupid mask on for. There ain't no disease or there ain't no whatever."
Sure.
I just looked at him. I said, "How many people do you know are related to that's died from this?"
Right.
He looked at me. I said, "Well, I'll just tell you. Once you know somebody that died from it, you'll have a mask on too." I didn't really know anybody that died from it, but it was good to shut this guy up. And then I went in Walgreens and they had the little 6 foot, and I had an old guy that was filthy rich with money, him and his old lady. And instead of the 6 foot thing, they were checking out and they were getting ready to move. So I started to just scoot a little bit. I probably got up to 5 foot.
Right.
He turned around to me and he didn't have a mask on. And turned around, he goes, "You need to stay 6 foot back." I said, "Well, you need to shut up because you don't even have a mask on. So what's your right? Don't point your finger at me." Exactly. So but the COVID thing, I've got people on Facebook I know around the country now, and they're all like, "Oh man, I'm being quarantined now." Right. And people kind of say, "Well, everybody's getting quarantined." Right. But it only takes one of those people that that
it only takes one person to change everybody's life. And so we need to be careful. We need to wear masks. But also, I want to tell my other funny Busch Stadium story. And that was the day we got to do that, and the day that the Conrad called me and asked me to be the PA announcer. Basically, I told a joke about Marge Schott. I said a joke on the and basically the Cincinnati Reds were so incensed. It was a 3 p.m. thing for a 7 p.m. game, and they were so mad. And I was just like, the Cardinals, maybe it was the people for the Cardinals, were so mad that I got in there and said that. And of course, I couldn't really care. I couldn't take it back, but that was a big deal. And I was like, sorry. It's funny. It's a good joke.
Oh, my gosh. That is funny. That's real funny. Yeah, well, I think sports, we're talking some sports here. When I was in Nashville, I saw this advertisement, so I did it. I took Mascot school. Okay. I was like, that'll be fun. I met the guy that created he created the Chicago Bull. There's about 10 of them around the country. He created the Shark, the San Jose Shark, all this stuff. So he put together a school. But what was funny, it's kind of like whatever money you had, that's what you had to pay, because one of the guys in it, I go, man, what did they charge you? What they charged me,
Right.
They charged me like $100. I go, man, they charged me like $300.
Yeah.
I told them all I had was 100, something like that. Okay.
Right. Sure.
This guy had 5 gorillas that were all different neon colors, pink, blue, green, and they were gorilla suits, hairy gorilla suits.
Okay.
And like when some of his promos showed him walking across the street like the Beatles. And this guy did all the promo video. He did any kind of sport, skateboarding, snowboarding with the gorilla suits on. So we went, and it was really cool. It was fun to do. We went, I had to show it to you sometime. We went to Chicago to a minor league hockey game.
Right.
And he said, and we figured out all of our skits we were going to do. And he goes, here's what we're going to do. Just remember, as a mascot, break all the rules now and say you're sorry later. Oh my gosh. At intermission, we had stuff in bags and we put it in the visitors bench.
Right.
And they were trying to do intermission, and all of a sudden these gorillas are down there, and we pick up a toilet lid and throw it out on the ice. We pick up a bra, and
yes,
it was funny. And then they wanted to skip for the whole thing. Well, I went up into the boxes where all the rich people were.
Nice people, the hoity-toity people.
And they go, and the ladies, look, it's a big old monkey, look at him. And they go, I wonder if he's a girl or a guy. And I go, let's see how I do this. I go, they go, I think it's a guy. And I go, yeah. And I went over and they were having had a big bowl of popcorn. And they go, does a monkey want some popcorn? I took that bowl and threw it all over the crowd out in front of me. And they go, and then people are like, hey, what are you doing? And it was so much fun. And they wanted a skit. So I wrote the skit, and the guy said, that's good. That was back in the time when the San Jose Chicken was in trouble for doing something. I don't know. So 5 gorillas were all, it's never been done. I could probably get it in the Guinness World Book. I've seen one. We had 5 gorillas in the Zamboni.
Really?
5. Not one mascot, 5.
That's a lot of gorillas.
So the chicken's out on the, we didn't use a chicken because we didn't want to get in trouble. We used a Barney. Barney's out on the ice. And you hear dun 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 dun, the shark music. Here comes the Zamboni. And we told the guy at the Zamboni, do not click the blades in, and don't fill us up with snow. So we get out there, and then I did all the music to it and everything. He goes, and Barney's looking at the Zamboni, and he goes, da 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 da. And it opens up and tilts, and 5 gorillas with clubs slide out of it, and we surround Barney, and we're trying to beat Barney up, but Barney's taking us all out, so he did us, and we had to fall, and Barney ends up wiping us all out, and then here comes a little kid. We put him in a Chicago hockey jersey.
Right.
He comes running out, and the announcer goes, oh, Barney, you've got a friend here. Look, it's a little guy, and he loves Chicago Blackhawks. And the guy goes, Barney goes, oh, give me a hug. And the kid runs out, and he kicks Barney in the gonads. Yeah, and Barney falls over. And then the gorillas, we jump up, and we throw Barney over our shoulders, and we take him off the ice. I've got on video. I'm like, man, that was pretty funny. And and it was to be a mascot, and it was so fun. I've almost bought mascot suits. I almost bought a big funny polar bear looking that would kind of remind me of St. Louis's mascot. What's his name?
Fredbird.
No, hockey.
Oh, Louis.
Louis, yeah. I almost bought a bear, only he's white, but he looked kind of like Louis. Before Louis came around, I thought, man, you could do so much with this in the summertime. Put a Hawaiian shirt on, have a big martini glass, and hockey jersey. And if you never did the mascot thing, it was a blast putting because nobody knows who you are, and you just mess with her. I'd go sit in the crowd, like, excuse me, and I'd sit down. People in front of me, they'd have it like a soda, a drink, set it down to get some popcorn. And when they'd set it down, I'd reach up and grab it. I'd take this guy's drink and I'd switch him. I put everybody sitting there saw it happening. But anyway,
Right.
in the sports field, that's probably that was a blast.
That would be great. That would be awesome.
To be a mascot gorilla.
You know,
it was. And then later, the girlfriend I dated and moved to Nashville with me, she ended up going out with the guy. So I got to be a mascot, but I lost the girlfriend. Now that wasn't a bad thing. Wasn't a bad thing at all.
Definitely. We're talking about starting a show and writing country songs. That's a good one. I lost the girl, but I gained a friend of the mascot or something like that.
Oh, well, we're right in the middle of this show thing. Boy, Branson is hopping right now with people painting and changing things and doing this. I see some Clay Cooper's Theater. The whole front of it is tan colored and brown. That's kind of his tan and brown thing.
Sure.
They just put, you see those little chaser lights a lot of businesses put around liquor stores and gas stations around the windows, different colors. He did all the outline of all of his stuff in those different colors. And then he put up lighting on his building for now all the middle of his building, instead of being tan, it's bright red. And this side over here is a different color. And this, so he did a little bit with lighting, but it was so cool. I wanted to just pull over and go in there and go, is anybody that's in charge here? I just want to tell you guys, you made the theater look really nice,
Awesome. That's really cool.
But we're working on some stuff, and we're working on.
We're learning.
We're working on something that's really big.
Yes.
And it's the biggest thing is finding your partners, your financial partners.
But I also want to say that it's so important to just keep talking about the stuff that people are really interested in. And again, I had a great conversation last night with Donna Skaggs, who is always repped and is always talking about our show. And we talked about the stuff that I'm trying to do to help her save Jigga's Bridge, because that is over 100 years old. It's one of the oldest bridges in Missouri, for sure, and it's still standing. It needs to be maintained and kept in that position for the future, definitely, because it is such a wonderful historic site.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Uh-oh. Hang on.
Okay. I'm here. Hello? Earbud Problems? I think this is Earbud Problems. There you go. No, now you're off. Now it says you're off. Now you're on. Still off.
There
we go.
Yeah, I've been talking on these things all day, and it's oh, by the way, I had to give my update. I went to see my foot doctor today, and I didn't want to change subject, but I got a hold of the main nurse. She's my person for the hyper or whatever thing I'm going to get in, Hyperberg
stuff. Yes.
I start Monday morning. 5 days a week. And she said she's seen people get in there, she said, with holes in their body somewhere. That's unbelievable. And they end up coming out with it healed. And she goes, and I saw my wound today. The top of my wound, which was pretty big, is smaller than a dime right now. It's really, and my doctor came in and looked at me today, and he just looked at it. He said, you know what? This is looking real good. Real good. If the antibiotics in the chamber thing, if we get that little infection killed down in there, he goes, this is going to heal up good.
Right.
And that was just awesome, and I had to go through all the little paperwork, all the stuff that says you could have lung problems, or a lung could collapse, or a seizure. I go, this kind of scares me. She said, because these chambers, they have to basically suck the normal air you're breathing out of them as they fill it with pure oxygen.
Oh, wow.
So there's a different, you can't just go, boom, you just can't go from outside to pure oxygen all of a sudden. That's the thing, that be kind of like those bags that you put food in. It sucks everything in. Right. Yeah, that's That's how you could end up with a collapse. And she said, I've been doing it for 30 years. I've never seen any side effects with anybody. She goes, it all has to do with the people running it. You get somebody in there that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my deal. I start that on Monday.
That's pretty wonderful. And again, I think it is such an important thing of how you fought for your own medical health. You fought for yourself and your foot and your leg. I think that's so cool. And it shows how important it is to have a part in that. Even if you're in the doctors, to have a part in this.
Well, I told the physical people, I said, I'm not losing my leg, period. It's not.
Right.
No, I'm on the ball team with the guy upstairs. We've discussed it.
Right.
No,
Yes.
I'm keeping my leg. I am. Now, if some kind of infection goes to my heart 2 or 3 years from now and it kills me, guess what? Well, maybe I shouldn't have kept my leg. But you know what? As Elvis said, or Frank Sinatra, all of them, I did it my way.
Right.
I did. And I had plenty of people back me on it. And the disease lady, whatever, yesterday, she said, well, if all else fails, if we can't get that killed down in there, they can always go in there and in your heel bone, cut that little infection area out.
Yes.
And that's why I told my doctor today. And he said, yeah. He said, if we had to get to that point, he said, the antibiotics they should wipe this out. This should be good.
Right.
And I said, well, but I said, boy, the doctors up in that other town where I was, Mercy, I can't think of it. Anyway, man, I didn't get nothing from them. Well, we could end up, if we have to, cutting that little area out.
Right.
I mean, your foot wouldn't look any different. You wouldn't walk any different.
Right.
No, all I got was we're cutting your leg off. That's it, So and now I'm with with the Cox people, and they're all about just healing you and getting it all working.
Exactly. That's the way they need to be. And that's why I just love your story of sticking up for yourself.
Well, this thing we're doing, we can't tell you much about it. We can't tell you it's probably either, we can't tell you it'd be called You're the Ticket, or it might be straight from Nashville, Mike Reed's You're the Ticket. We can't tell you that stuff. So forget I said that.
Exactly.
This is going to be
it's going to be so fun. It's so fun. Every day is so cool to watch how it grows, like a little bit every day.
Turn on TV tonight and flip through your local channels. I guarantee you will find some reality TV somewhere.
Right.
I was watching Name That Tune last night.
Exactly.
And
that kind of cracks me up.
It was pretty hokey. But anyway.
Exactly.
Randy Jackson's there on the piano, and he's trying to be Mr. Personality. Oh, that was good. I'm like, Randy, your days were better when you were doing other stuff. But anyway, we've got a real unique plan. And
yes,
I'll just tell you this. Other than the people here in Branson that's been here a long, long time, that made money all through the years, they finance themselves and all that.
Sure.
Very few of them. But all these other shows and everything, all of them have financial backing.
Right.
Because you've been a business guy for a long time, and you understand when people invest, it's so they can make money.
And that's one thing that I feel like we're put together very nicely.
Well, so anybody that sees us at all and says, did they say something about a thing in Branson? Please write Dale.
Yeah, sure.
And we'll get you on here, and you can ask us some questions, and we'll talk to you about it.
Yes.
Because if you're out there and you ever wanted to invest in the Branson area, or if you wanted to be involved with something, because this is going to be a thing, and the people that work with us are either going to be, well, I won't really say family, but it's going to be friends. It's going to be
that's the whole way to do this. Build a team of friends. That's the whole idea.
Friends and strippers. I mean, that's what it's going to be.
No strippers, just friends.
Oh no, that's if we're in Reno. Okay, never mind. I've watched too much of Steve Harvey, Family Feud. Boy, some of the answers they come up with on that is just, and Steve Harvey, you talk about a brilliant front guy person.
Definitely, he is so good.
People like you and me, we know when he's just doing the thing,
right? Doing
to get
the
laughs going,
right?
And they all think, oh, yeah, I can't believe Steve Harvey said that. Well, yeah, Steve Harvey knew he was saying that. You know, he did it for a reason. But it's, man, it's, yeah, I got to get to playing and doing stuff because watching Steve Harvey till midnight every week is,
Right. That's not the way to live life, definitely. But he's good. He is definitely good.
he's a lot of fun. And it's, yeah, maybe we could get him down here.
Let's do it. Now, actually, let's go back to talk about Wes Thomas and the 1994, 93, 92 baseball teams because he was so good.
Talk about it.
Actually, what was so fun about that was I got to see Coach Conrad grow as a coach because even though I was in college, I went to every big game. I went to both Final Fours. I was up there every time. And it was just so fun to watch him grow and develop again as a coach because I love the guy. He's a great coach for me, but he got better as a coach while he was coaching those teams.
Think how cool would that be to get to coach at Busch Stadium, the old one.
Oh, exactly.
Coach there. I mean,
yeah,
that's as cool as being a player there.
And the cool thing about that was Jason Hilton hit a double off the wall in the old Busch Stadium, and Jason Seifert, who always hit the ball so well, he was a part of that team. It was just so amazing to be there and watch these kids get to play in Busch Stadium. How very cool is that? I just loved it.
Who did they play? Who did they play?
Played some other team. I don't know what it was, but it was some team. But basically, it was their date, and they couldn't get a date to play because it was Easter. And so Conrad got the team to go ahead, went up there and did it. It was the best thing ever. The thing was, my grandmother had died the day before, and so basically I couldn't even go to the game, but I got to do the PA announcing. Brian Harmon was the scorekeeper, and then basically I got to cut off and go to Georgia and see the family. And so, but it was really cool to get to do that stuff. That was amazing. I loved being that and being around my friends. That was just awesome. And Wes Thomas, again, was just such a great guy and such a big part of those amazing teams. And I just want to make sure that that's how he's remembered.
Wow. Yeah. How long did he die this week?
He died 2 days ago, I think it was.
And how old was he now?
Well, he would be 44, kind of that area. I'm 48, going to be 49 on Sunday. So, yes.
Oh, my gosh. Was he living in Crane? Does he live there?
He was living in the area. I don't even know. He moved with his wife, who was also from Crane. Mindy, her name was Mindy. I should know her name. I don't know her name.
Well, this COVID thing.
Right.
This COVID thing, you get people like, oh, I'm quarantined. I'm getting a little sick. And, my friend out in Colorado, he just got it on Facebook. He said, I'm just feeling down and sick, kind of. And he said, every time I cough, it's like I'm coughing up dirt and dust, like dust. Yes. And he goes, everything smells like dust and all. And I thought, well, I'd be a little worried because that's pretty out of the normal. And it's these people that you see that don't think anything's, I mean, right. It's pure obvious. Look at all the movie stars, musicians, all these people that have all the care in the world. And the COVID thing, I watched, when it first came out, I watched a thing with a surgeon on YouTube, a little Chinese guy. And he's like, oh, there is my license to be a surgeon on the wall. And he and he had a dry erase board and he was drawing pictures and showing what COVID actually does. Right. And he'd say stuff like, how are you going to bury your mom? How are you going to bury your dad? How are you going to bury your kids? How are you going to do? And this video scared you to death. And I talked to some other people and they go, oh man, I watched it. I was scared to death after I watched it. But he was telling how it works, how it attacks your antibodies. Gee, well, that's sad. Did you know this guy?
The cool thing is I want to honor Wes's life. I want to continue to say what a great guy he was. And just remember, he's playing third base in heaven right now. And it's great to know that he's up there, 10 to the hot corner, shall we say.
And that's what I played when I was at Crane, third base.
Right, exactly. Another in the lineage of great connections.
Yeah, it's
third baseman in Crane. That's the new category here.
Well, that's amazing too, because we talk about Crane, such a little down, and nobody would think anything would ever really come out of it. I mean,
Right.
it's
And it's the center of the universe. Bruce Spielman says that Crane is the center of the universe. It really, honestly is. Bruce
who
Spielman,
says
he's
that?
a wonderful pastor from Crane, a great
Oh,
guy.
okay.
So
Okay.
I'm just saying, you don't know him because he came after, but a great guy. You need to meet him at some point. But another music lover. So I'm just saying, it's Knee Deep in Rubber every day at 4 o'clock, and it's time to sign off.